Here is another example. This time, we're going to be reading from left to right. Once again, this image was used in the beginning of the lesson and will explain the direction of writing. Now remember, for this image, read facing the various signs. In this inscription, there are two rows of inscriptions, an upper one, which is read first, and a lower one, read second. And notice again that the hieroglyphs have been fitted around the figure, which is a very common aesthetic design. So, line 1 reads from left to right, horizontally. Read into the face of the chick. That usually will give you an indication. Or the man next to the chick. Either will do, as long as you can determine the direction. So once again, read from left to right, and then from top to bottom. We'll show you how this is done. By reading the leaf first, the chick, and then following the man, and then the face, and on and so forth. As you can see, that as you read the inscriptions horizontally, you move towards the end and then turn around the corner, as it were dropping down to finish in the column. As with our writing system, we then return to the start of the next line and read along once more, into the face of the signs, such as the seated man and the chick. As these examples also indicate, hieroglyphic signs were placed in the continuous sequence without any punctuation marks or word spacing. No doubt this will seem intimidating at first, but I hope to show you by example that as you become familiar with the script and gain a grasp of useful words, this is nothing like as bad as it might seem. Actually, on the contrary, it's quite simple. With Egyptian words, there is a visual, and it makes it easier to read, where with other modern-day languages, the words are abstract, with no visual cues, and makes it a little difficult to remember. I and U plurals. Hieroglyphic writing is quite economical. Along with vowels, the consonant I and U are often omitted in writing, except at the beginning of words. This is particularly true for grammatical ending. For example, the Egyptian plural is indicated by an U ending, just as it is typically indicated in English by the S for bird, birds. This is sometimes fully written out, but more often the U is omitted. The word for bird, singular, is represented by this construct. This word is transliterated as opid, meaning bird, fowl. For our convenience, this word can be sounded opid. This is made plural by adding an U ending. A plural determinative of 3 strokes is usually added as well. Since the determinative of 3 strokes suffice to indicate the plural, the U ending is often simply left out of writing and transliterated in brackets, leaving a more compact group of hieroglyphs. Here is the construct and difference. The word again is opidu, or it can be written as well as this way, still pronounced opidu, but notice the U is in brackets, which indicates that the quail, the U sound, is omitted. The ducks are the determinative. They allow us to recognize that this word means birds. Learning to read hieroglyphs is only one part of reading hieroglyphic inscription, especially if you aspire to making a real progress with your studies. Since hieroglyphs were used by the ancient Egyptians to write down their own language, it is necessary to build up a familiarity with how words are put together in the Egyptian. Throughout these lessons, I will introduce you step by step to the most common features of ancient Egyptian, which you are likely to meet in the sort of inscriptions studied here. Some of the ways Egyptian works are rather like English, and so will seem quite normal to you, but some of its features are not as we would expect from English and will need a little more discussion and thought. As a starting point, it is useful to know something about nouns in Egyptian. Nouns are words typically used to refer to people, objects, living things, and the sort. In Egyptian, all nouns are treated as either masculine or feminine, even if there's no obvious reason for us why this should be the case. You would be familiar with the similar convention in French. For example, you would have the preposition la, which is feminine, for la fille, meaning the girl. And also the preposition le garçon. Le is a masculine for the boy. Fortunately, this distinction is very easy to spot in ancient Egyptian, since feminine nouns are almost always end in T, whereas masculine nouns rarely do. For example, this word is transliterated as s for man. This word is transliterated as st for woman. Also, there is no special word for the or a in classical Egyptian, and so the man can be a man or the man. Example: prepositions is a feature much like the English language. Words which are preposed or put before others. For example, location, in, directions, towards, time, during, accompaniment, with, and how things are done, by. As in English, the simplest prepositions tend to be very short words and are written with one consonant signs. Here are some examples. The owl, which is transliterated as an M for in, with, from, as. The water symbol, transliterated as N, for towards people, or for. The mouse symbol, transliterated as an R, which you've seen before, for towards a place, at. This word is transliterated as in, for by. This word is transliterated as hene, for with. Here are some examples. The owl in the schematic house, as seen before, is transliterated as mdw-nṯr, for in the house. The mouth and the schematic house is transliterated as r-pr, to the house. This word is transliterated as n-sinbi. This two-part construct is transliterated as n-sinbi, meaning for senbi. This two-part construct is transliterated as in senbi, for by senbi.